Hi, this is Danny Vierra from Modern Manna, and we have our Risen School, and all our guests here are students, and they're all going to be certified natural hygiene coaches. And today I want to give them a class on natural remedies, simple natural remedies that you can use for people that maybe they've sprained their ankle, maybe they're having an ear infection, you know, maybe you're trying to pull something out of the skin, you know. Even with the face, I'm going to show you a really cool natural remedy you can use with aloe vera and some bentonite clay to make a mask that you can pull impurities out even in the face. You've been to get a facial before, right? She makes a clay mask. Well, we have our clay masks we're going to use. But anyway, we're going to use natural remedies, even like this eucalyptus that I just pulled off the tree. Beautiful eucalyptus. It's very good for the lungs, but also for inflammation. So in this class, I want to show you how you can use a number of things externally on the body. We've taken our black poultice drinks internally. You've taken your herbal capsules, your tinctures, but this time I want to show you things you can use externally on the body as well. So I want to just begin with some simple things. This is clove oil, and I like this little dispenser. Watch this. Oh, that one doesn't have it. The other one I do. It has a little brush on it, and you just brush it where you have a toothache. You know, I've even been to a specialist dentistry, and they'll use the clove oil because it'll numb the nerve. And so it's very good when somebody's really suffering with a toothache. You want to use pure clove oil. So have one of those in your herbal medicine chest, okay? Always use something like that. We all know about the aromatherapies, right? You can put these on the body. A lot of times we apply a little peppermint lavender to the head, to the temples. I love aromatherapy. I love the smells. We talked about using the aromas in the massage, you know. But they're very healing oils. These are very healing oils. These are herbs that are concentrated, very potent, very strong. You can use it for digestion, inflammation, for pain, for calming, to relax people down. I have another bottle of eucalyptus here. This was something interesting that my dentist gave me, and it's a 2-ounce liquid. I haven't even opened it and I haven't even used it, but it's from the Melaleuca company, and it says Orthus for oral wound gel. And what it says is fast, all-natural pain control for sores, ulcers, and inflammation of the mouth, including mucositis and stomatitis. And it says all wounds, ulcers, inflammation, or irritation of the mouth. And then it's made of, a blend of all natural polysaccharides, mannans, and essential oils. So he said this will really speed the healing in your mouth. So that's something you can use topically, orally, and in your mouth. Something I've used for years. Even veterinarians use DMSO. It's a byproduct of the paper industry. It's like a cousin of MSM. In fact, I was watching a video today on YouTube. A lady was making a comfrey poultice, and she's talking about different things that you can put on the skin for healing. And she had a big tub of MSM, methylsulfonomethane, and that's good for pain. But also I did a radio show with a guy named Bill Rich years ago, and he owned an MSM company, so he was manufacturing it. And he would tell in his testimony that he suffered in a car accident, and it burnt a large part of his body, serious burns, and they were really concerned for him. And he started using MSM, and his body, his skin healed. It's very important to understand the benefits of sulfur. It's like one of the third elements in the body, you know. It's very good for psoriasis, things of that nature. But when I looked at the MSM tub on the YouTube channel today, you know what I saw? Animals on it. And I said, that looks like they got it at a feed store. And she started talking about how they would use it on the animals, and you can get it in that form, even from feed stores. But the DMSO is something else that veterinarians would use for like pain on horses, on animals. So I like this roll-on type because you don't contaminate it at all. You roll it right onto the wound or the area that's hurting. Now, in bodybuilding, I had torn my tricep once. And so I used this on there, and it really deadened the pain, and it slowed down the inflammation. And it's pretty powerful. But the problem I learned was, I went and started lifting weights again, but it hasn't completely healed, but it's numb. So you can tear it worse if you're not careful. We talked about the benefits of magnesium. This is a topical cream as well. If somebody's having cramping, Charlie horses, you know, their calves are tightening up, you can rub this right on that area, and transdermally, meaning through the absorption of the skin, that you can then relax that muscle, because magnesium is very good as a muscle relaxant. There's also phytogesic balm. This is priceless. See this little guy? I love this product, and I learned to respect it. But this is a combination of different oils that are camphoraceous. They're also very healing. But listen to the ingredients in this product, and I'll pass it around the room and let you smell it. But this is great for sore joints. What's in it? Number one, arnica. It has rue, calendula. It has St. John's wort, cayenne or capsicum, wintergreen oil, tea tree essential oil, camphor essential oil, peppermint essential oil, menthol, and a base of extra virgin olive oil and beeswax. Isn't that cool? And I put this on my sore areas before. And it was interesting because it went in and it felt warm, but then it kind of calmed down and went away. And I was burning some trash out at my property, and the fire was, you know, starting to rage, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, why is my right shoulder so hot right now and my left one wasn't? It turned on. So I've learned I can put this on, and it may feel somewhat hot, but you go into the sauna at 160 degrees, it turns on, it intensifies, and I think it really increases the healing potential. So what I learned with this, it turns on and it turns off. Like I had a sore back, you know, his spinal erectors were tight, and I rubbed it on his back, and he said, oh, that feels good. And he didn't feel the intensity. He took a hot shower. He says, this is weird. How does this stuff do this? It turns on and off. He got in the hot shower, it intensified, and you felt those herbs doing their job. So if you want to smell it, pass it around the room. That's very intense, very nice. The first time I ever learned about castor oil was at the Gerson Hospital. The Gerson Hospital. I met Charlotte Gerson, and she took me around to meet the cancer patients. That was thrilling to me, to go around with Charlotte Gerson and to see people with terminally ill cancer. And I remember I walked into a room, and there was a man, and he had a big poultice over his side, over laying like this. And I said to Charlotte, what's he doing? And she says, oh, he has liver cancer, and we have a castor oil pack on him. And I said, well, what's that castor oil for? She says, it's going to help with pain, and it's going to help with inflammation. Now, I had a couple pieces cut already. If you see these laying around, I could use some help here, Susie. You want to find? If not, I need to cut a couple more slices. But how would you make a castor oil pack? Well, let me show you what I've learned. You could do a couple different techniques here. Cut me a piece about this much. Here's your scissors. You can stay right here. Or, there you go. Cut me that. But watch what I would do. Castor oil stains. Definitely stains. It can stain your furniture. It can stain your sheets. So I would first of all, you know, protect myself from getting the castor oil on everywhere by putting on a pair of disposable gloves. Very simple to do, right? And then I would take a piece of the cut material here. Yeah, just right here. The cut material here. In this case, you can use flannel. I just have a piece of an old sheet here. And so this can stain. There's two ways I learned to do this. I can put it into a pot, and I can pour the castor oil on. That's one way. Another way is that you lay it on a cookie sheet and you put on the castor oil and then you put it in the oven and you warm it up, so when you put that poultice on, it's nice and warm to the organ that you're working with. Okay, very soothing to the organ. There it is right there, what we are looking for. So let's make a castor oil pack, and I'll show you one variation how I would do this. All right, so I would put the cloth in there. I get 100% castor oil. Okay, this is a top quality oil. All right, we talked about a couple drops in the eyes that people have used for cataracts, for pain, for inflammation, but it's also going to help relieve the pain. I actually had a man here who was an evangelist years ago, actually baptized me, named Dan Collins. And Dan Collins had prostate cancer, and it had metastasized to his lungs. And so he came to Bella Vita. I didn't have anybody here, but I thought I would try to help him. And he was having all this pain in his lungs, right? And you know what? I made a castor oil pack, just something like this simple, right? And I folded it up, maybe something like this. And I asked him where the pain was. I put it right on his chest. And in probably 60 seconds, he said, "What is that?" I go, "Why?" He goes, "The pain's gone." Wow. Okay, so when I walked into Gerson, she had the castor oil and she had it wrapped on a person's liver. Now, how can I get somebody to do, let's say, wants to give me their arm and I'll put it on an elbow. Let's say you got a bad elbow here. Come over here, Susie, come to my right so you can help me. And here's one thing you can do, okay? You want to get the plastic wrap over there for me? So let's say here that Elizabeth has hurt her elbow, and we want to help with pain and inflammation. So you can simply take this castor oil and we can wrap it right around like this. Now what's important is somebody else come over here and help me. See, now I'm going to dispose of this, that I don't get the oil everywhere. All right? See how simple that is? Cool. So now watch, and do this. Take this one more time.
Okay.
And you pull it out one more time. What I would do is sometimes I'll just do this. See? And then wrap around. See? How many times you're going to need to wrap. And then when you're ready, you take this end here for me. Wrap that around gently. Okay, now say we did that on her, all right? Now I have her go sit down over here. Wait, I'm gonna bring you over here because I need a plug. Let's come over here. And let's say that why don't you recline so it looks nice and comfortable for you? And we got it protected now so it won't stain anything. But what you can then do is you get yourself a thermophore. Instead of putting it in the oven, you now have a thermophore, which is a nice heating pad, because we want to bring warmth to the area. Georgie, there you go. A thermophore, right? And so we want to bring warmth to the area. That's going to bring more healing and relief to her as well. So let's take this, you plug it in over there, as it were, and I would just very comfortably lift your arm up, right? And we just want to wrap her like this. So look how comfortable that is. And you can recline her, make her very comfortable, and you can leave that castor oil pack on for a couple hours, maybe leave it on even overnight. Now I typically dispose of them because it can draw out impurities from the body. All right? So it's very simple to make another fresh one. But I've seen pain stop in minutes using something that simple as a castor oil pack. So you can just continue to, you can get up, but you can leave it on a little bit to see the effect. But come over here and you can keep watching. That was good, huh? Wasn't that fun? So you see the benefits of castor oil? What else can you use castor oil for?
Enemas.
Enemas? How about it? What would a couple tablespoons by mouth do with castor oil? Induce labor.
It doesn't work.
Okay. It's going to make you poop. All right. It's going to move the bowels. A couple tablespoons of castor oil by mouth is very beneficial for moving the bowels. Let me show you something else that's kind of cool. I had a woman. She was a nurse. And one night I'm leaving Bella Vita and I see a baggie in the garbage can with 22 prescription drugs. 22 prescription drugs. And I said, whose are these? She said, they're mine and I'm not taking them anymore. I'm a nurse. I know what I'm doing. And I said, you really think that's safe to cold turkey? And I don't advise anyone at home to do that, all right? Without at least a pharmacist or a physician, you know, who's supervising you or giving you some medical advice. But she says, I'm not going to take them. And her face broke out a beet red. So I was thinking, what can I do to help her with this detoxification, inflammation? Her face was hot. And I thought about the power of bentonite clay. Bentonite is volcanic ash. It's montmorillonite clay. And it's also refrigerant. So it's anti-infective, it's refrigerant, it's cancercidal. It can help pull impurities out of the body, 40 times its weight in toxic matter. So I started to think about making myself a charcoal mask for her, right? I mean a clay mask using the bentonite clay. And so here's the bentonite clay. And let's say I'm going to just make a little bit here. And I started to think, oh, I'll add some water to it. And it was like the Lord interrupted me and says, we interrupt this program to bring you the following information. Instead of mixing in here water, use aloe vera gel. Now, why would the Lord tell me to use aloe vera gel? Because you use it for sunburns, for burning. It's high in oxygenation. It's very healing. So how would you use aloe vera? Well, you'd fillet it. So if I take my knife, you want to be careful you don't cut yourself, and you fillet the aloe vera, okay? The outer leaf is used for what? A laxative. This is potent to move your bowels. It's in our bowel formula number 1, is aloe. So the outside is that, but on the inside, you got the gel. See? The slimy gel. So I could mix some of this into the clay. So now I'm going to have the healing properties of the clay, the drawing properties of the clay. You guys should stand around here close and learn how to do this. This is valuable information you may want to use in your lifestyle center someday, right? So you can mix some liquid in here as well. But you better, in this case, I would use actually a liquid aloe vera is what I used that day. But see how it absorbs it here. You could even use that as a poultice, right, like that with aloe vera in there. So you put it on the face. Another thing I like to do is have a bottle of aloe vera in the refrigerator. So then if you have someone who's burnt themselves, you use the aloe vera and it's not only healing, it's cooling. It's very cooling. What else can you use for burns that I don't have here and I thought about using as part of my props for burns? Cabbage. And you take leaves of cabbage and you pound it a little bit to break it up and you place it right over the burn and it has healing properties for the burn. Another thing, honey. Honey is very recommended and very good for burns as well and can seal off the wound as well. But in this case here, I could make a poultice for somebody, let's say, where I want to draw things out or they had a burn. But isn't that cool? I could use this right here and place it right over the wound like this. And then I would wrap it. Look at that. It contains it, it holds it. Isn't that wonderful? you could wrap it, but I'm gonna need my hands.
with this or just?
Yeah, I would just wrap it with plastic. You know another thing I do with things like this? Put a sock over your hand overnight. Just a regular sock you put over your feet. And that's gonna hold it in place. Another thing I've done, if somebody had a burn, you know, you could actually, you know, take aloe vera and soak their hand in it, you know, submerge it right in aloe vera. You know, I've read articles where people were severely burned and they would submerge them in the aloe vera, you know, very important, very good for healing, you know, but always see the doctor, visit the emergency room if you have a serious ailment, something like that. I would leave the pack on probably, depending on what's wrong with me, 6 hours, 2 to 6 hours.
Okay.
Not going to bother anything,
Yeah.
you know. My wife years ago would get breast infections from breastfeeding the children. What would she do? Let's make something right now. Watch. Can I have the scissors? So let's make something else here. Could you wipe this off?
Sure.
There's paper towels right here if you want to do that. But let's just make a simple charcoal poultice, all right? Something very simple. I've made so many of these in my life, okay? But she would get a little breast infection from breastfeeding the children. So I'm going to make a poultice for her, and she wakes up, she feels feverish, she feels like she's getting sick, she's achy, and there's an infection here. So how hard is it to make yourself a little charcoal poultice? You know what I do? I use the Bowel Formula #2. It's got flaxseed in it. That's one way. Or you can do, Ellen White talks about charcoal and ground flax. You can mix these two together as well. I kind of like this because it also has the bentonite clay in it as well. So if I'm going to make myself a little charcoal poultice, you want water always, a little bit of water. And what I'll do is I'll just put in a little bit of water. I'm not going to make a big poultice here by any means. And then I'm going to get my spoon and I'm going to start adding some of this and stirring. So it's going to absorb the water, see, as you keep mixing it. And I'll show you something else that I did, interestingly enough, that I don't know if you've ever seen. I'll show you another application that I use for charcoal poultices. But here I'm making it for my wife's breast infection, right? So I like to have it a little wetter if I'm going to put it in a piece of, sometimes I think for her I would even use just a half of a strip of a paper towel. Now this is absorbent. But if you have it wet enough in there, it's very easy to use. And she's sticking this under her bra anyway and leaving it on overnight. Overnight. Okay, remember that, overnight. So in this case, I'd still have it a little wetter. All right. And I like I said, to have it a little more moist, more wet, because it really absorbs the fluid. So say I did something right like this, or see how easy that is? And then you fold it over. You guys, can you see over there? You're going to know how to do this. You know what happens a lot of times? Somebody gets in trouble and then I get a phone call. And you know what the question is? How do you make that poultice again for that breast infection? I said, were you taking notes? Were you watching? Were you really learning? Okay, so you always want to do that. So see how it's moist here? I would probably put a little more water, but see how easy it's. Say you were bit by a snake. You can put, again, I would probably do it just like that. If I was bit by a bug bite or something that serious, I would probably put on something like this, just like that, and then I would wrap it with the plastic. Okay, a black widow bite.
6 hours.
I'd leave it on overnight if it was a serious insect bite. And then I'd put it back on. I'd take it off and put it back on, because I've had people with red lines running up the back of their legs. Okay, the poison's going to go to the heart. And I had a lady once, she came and she says, look at my leg. And she had a red line coming up the back of her leg. And I said, what's going on? And she had a little infection on her toe and the nail. So I says, well, when you get back, you can try charcoal poultice on it. She did. She left it on, and the line was completely gone in about 8 hours. So this is a sponge that's drawing poisons and impurities. Now, this is what you put inside your cells 5 times a day for 5 days, right? So what's it doing internally? It's pulling out the poisons and the impurities from the body and the blood. So isn't that cool? Using something, look. It's what you took internally 5 days. So you have a little charcoal poultice, all right? Let me give you that. And then I'll give you this pot. And I'll give you that cooking sheet. All right? So isn't that interesting? Little things you can make. Now, I want to show you something else I started today. This is a little seed blender. And what do I got inside that I was concocting up? Eucalyptus leaves. And you know what I mixed it with? Because I was reading and saying, yeah, I'll try that. Ground flax. You know what else you can use? I was watching about a comfrey leaf poultice. A comfrey leaf poultice. Comfrey leaf, and they were applying it to a bruised bone. So, right there, this also for pain, for inflammation, eucalyptus, and just some ground flaxseed. I put in a couple drops of eucalyptus oil. So I was going to put this on one of these on somebody who had a little pain or inflammation, but I really want to also try some of the comfrey. So, but see how cool that is? And I got myself a little spatula here. So look, how simple to apply it again, right to the area of the body. So it's going to be cooling. It's got the eucalyptus in there. It's got the healing properties of the flax. Very simple to make. And I just picked those right off the tree outside and blended them. Another thing you can do for making herbs like this, for poultices, is put these leaves in a dehydrator. Try them out till they get crispy, and then you just break them all up, right? And you throw them in your little seed grinder, and they're gonna blend up so much easier because they're not as tough being fresh, but you can make them that way as well. That was interesting. So I was watching them make a poultice for the bruised bones, and they were using fresh comfrey leaves. And the FDA got pretty hot on comfrey. If you take it internally, it's going to kill you. So the lady at my health food store was drinking comfrey smoothies every day and says, it hasn't bothered me. But, you know, these statements have not been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. This product's not intended to cure, diagnose, or heal any disease. Consult your physician. That's the disclaimer. But this was quite interesting. You ever heard of diatomaceous earth? You know what that is? Huh? These are little, fossil pieces of the earth, silica, right? Silica. And it's very, again, healing to the body and to the skin. It's also used to kill parasites. So they would take this very cheap. I paid like $40 for a 50-pound bag that I go to a grain mill store and I buy it in these large amounts. In fact, you take this, you sprinkle it in your garden, and it kills pests. And I was asking a guy who was very up on this, and he said, do you know how this works? And I go, no, not really. He says these particles, if you look under a microscope and blow them up, it's like pieces of glass. And they ingest it, and it cuts them up from the inside, and it's a natural pesticide. Isn't that cool? So it's also very loaded with calcium. So they were showing you got a bruised bone, okay? So you use the comfrey leaves, and I don't have any comfrey leaves right now, but what I'm gonna try, and I'll put this on Mia's elbow, is we can take the comfrey, and look, I have a whole bottle of comfrey here, comfrey. So we'll take the comfrey, and let me just pour a little bit in this bottle, right? And then what am I going to do? I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the diatomaceous earth and see what happens here. A little bit of the diatomaceous earth. Let's start with about this much. Take in a little more. See if I can make this into a paste. Yeah, I think it's going to work here. Yeah. So now Mia fell on a skateboard and she injured her elbow. Actually, she cracked the bone. She cracked the bone, and the orthopedic surgeon says, well, we don't have to do an operation right now. We're not going to do that. So let's say we pull out something like this. And I would put this with the calcium, the healing properties of the comfrey for tissue repair. And something else, you know what you do? You give her tissue repair ointment, okay, internally, while you put it on externally. So now you're giving it to her through herbs that are going to help heal bone. You're giving it to her to a little poultice here that's going to help heal bone. Then you can take a piece of this. Look at, say we're going to do her elbow. Look at, you can put it right here and you pour it on. It's cool. Right? And you want to always make it the size that's large enough to cover the wounded area. Okay, so say I did that. I really want to put it on so she can have some healing benefits here. And this one I definitely would leave on overnight. So then I would take another piece, right? And then we just do this. Isn't that cool? See, now seeing it coming, bleeding right through the tissue? So you can then apply that to her elbow, or you can do it this way. Apply it to her elbow with the plastic, and then just wrap it around her arm, and it's all done right there. But see, this is what I would do. So you want to go apply it to her over there? So here's another one, like I said, that somebody was having an inflammation. I was reading in the Spirit of Prophecy about the benefits of eucalyptus for an inflamed area. See, so how would we apply this to an inflamed area? Again, I would probably either put it through the napkin type thing. This would be a cool one. We can actually do this on somebody.
Would that be good for a sprained ankle?
Yes, definitely. And you can also make a charcoal poultice and do a sprained ankle that way as well. Okay. So say you had this, and you had somebody who had just hurt their ankle. And Ellen White talked about eucalyptus for inflammation. You can use it for even pain. You can use it for congestion in the lungs. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to put this plaster right on somebody's chest that was having some lung problems there. So again, I would take an equal sized piece of cloth. See this? Now it should start bleeding through here and getting wet again. And you can also, you know, don't be afraid to take a little bit of water and sprinkle this on there. So you want to have these properties, you know, and I was reading also, when you're making this paste like this, and you got the eucalyptus and the flaxseed in there, in that container, add boiling water. Just like you were pouring it into a cup of tea to make the tea. You want to extract the healing properties from those herbs. Okay, so this is going to be colder. Does anybody have any pain in a joint or a knee, a ankle, anything of that nature?
We're all healed here.
You're all healed here. All right, so there's eucalyptus, flaxseed oil. All right, very easy to apply to somebody's area of the body. Yeah, I'm thinking which one I want to make for you here, but
okay.
Your shoulder's a frozen shoulder, right?
Right. What about her rib cage?
Yeah, her rib cage.
Yeah, I got that one too. I'm going to make something for her
you
as
have
well. Huh? Do you have a problem there? It hurts?
It hurts.
Oh, it's inflamed.
Okay, come over here. So, ladies, 2 helpers, get the plastic wrap. All right. Okay, so if I were to put this on this area, that would be pretty much, okay. Let me do some of this first. I want to put a little of this on there first, okay? I'm going to rub this on the area, okay? And I want you to get that thermophore so we can put the heat on here. Yeah. I want to draw a little heat there and see if that helps at all, okay?
Okay.
You've had this a long time, huh?
2 months.
2 months? Okay, somebody take that. Somebody plug that in for me. Okay. Doesn't hurt at all, does it? See? And you can even tuck it in, like underneath here, see? You can even tuck it in there. She can tuck it under her arm, something of that nature. We'll put a little piece of plastic over this. Thank you, Susie. Okay.
I have a little ace wrap.
You have an ace wrap? Okay. Thank you. Look, she's even helping me. Nice. Okay. Here. And she'll bring, you know, and actually, Susie said I have some ace wrap. And that's exactly what you want to do, is you use an ace wrap, ace bandage, to wrap the area to keep it in place and secure it. Okay? So she's going to do a little bit of that. But again, I put on the plastic, so you're not going to stain the thermophore in your heating pad here. Okay, you want to wrap her underneath a little bit, not too tight.
This is actually that stretch tape.
Oh, is it the stretch? Yeah. You could do a charcoal poultice on here.
It's too tight.
Yeah, just watch the circulation, huh? It just needs to be loose. It doesn't have to be tight at all. So she won't get uncomfortable. But this way she can get up and walk around because you have an ace bandage on there. This is plugged in. Okay. Let's turn it on. Okay. And would you bring me that box over there? That box right there. I want to show you something else that I just bought a while back for myself after I had the Regenix therapy on my knee. This is also pretty cool. It's called Thermatex, and this is an infrared heating pad. So what they market this as is that it can go 2.5 inches deep into the body. It's going to go deeper into the body, so you're going to have a greater potential healing effect. So in this case, I probably would use this one on her. Could you take that away, somebody?
Thank you.
And then let me plug this one in. And we'll use this one for her. Okay. And then you turn it on. Right here. And there's low, high, and I'm just going to put her on high right now, okay? And so you have this thing, you simply apply it to her like this. And I would just, you know, it's got straps where you can wrap it, lift your arm up. We'll go here, okay, down. All right. And this one, I need the shorter one. Here we go. Okay, there. See that? Look at, she's just uptown, isn't she?
All right, thank you.
Now get your head up. We'll put you comfy. Just let her relax. How's that feel?
Great.
Not bad?
Yeah,
Okay, if
thank
it
you.
starts getting too hot, there's your control to lower it down too low. And let's just, can you sit there a little bit?
Yeah,
Well, she
sure.
needs
Okay.
a cozy blanket.
All right, so let's go back over here. Show you a little bit more. And another thing you can do is if it gets too hot, here's something else. If it gets too hot, you put a towel, okay, between that heating pad and, okay, the plastic. So then she can turn it down some of the heat. All right, so we got that made. And this, we can use the rest. Yeah, put it over here. Now I want to make another one. Who's having any chest congestion? Anybody? Breathing chest congestion. Have you ever made a mustard pack?
No.
No? Well, I'll show you how you make a mustard pack. A mustard pack. This is going to bring some heat and help open up the lung passages. So in this case, what they suggest that you use, here I have some mustard seed, yellow, organic powder, and you take a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, and you add it to the dish. And then guess what they did? They add 4 tablespoons of white flour. And it's to cut the heat, the intensity of the heat. So what do we have here, Sylvia? Of what kind of flour?
Oh, sorghum flour.
Sorghum flour. It's gluten-free in case I need it. All right. So you put in 1, 2, 3, and about 4 tablespoons now, right? And you got that. I'm going to need a piece of cloth, again, big enough for the chest.
Okay.
All right? So now I would add my water. And you're making yourself a mustard pack, a mustard plaster, as it were. And I've done this before. And it helped open up people's airways and their lungs. So you just carefully mix it together. You know, my daughter walked by and she said, "Wow, Dad, I haven't seen you make all of these things before." And I just thought, over my 35 years of being into natural healing and owning health food stores, I just started thinking about all the things I've watched and I've learned at all these conventions and these healing courses I've taken, and it just flashed in my head, and I'm putting it all together pretty quickly here. But these are things that you learn over the course of your life that you can use as natural remedies. See that? Mm-hmm. So now I could, with it, you know, the intensity of the heat is now less because I've mixed it with the flour. I may put that directly on the skin. Okay, you can put it directly on the skin, or you can again put it in a piece of the cloth she's doing here, right? And you could do this too. You know, this one should do right here. But let's say somebody has a lot of congestion in their lung, then I would, let's just make it maybe not big enough here, but let's try.
Try this one too.
Yeah, but this, I could have maybe used a little lighter, but we'll be all right. Okay, so see this?
You can put it on you.
On who?
On yourself.
I am. I'm going to take it home and use it on myself tonight. That's what I'm going to do. All right? Does it feel okay over there, Tina?
Yes, feels good.
You feel all right? Nothing burning?
No deep burning.
Okay. So these are a lot of different remedies. I've heard of people here talking about plantain. Plantain's a great one again. But you want to get that herb, you want to dehydrate it so you can crumble it all up. Mix it with a little bit of water and create yourself a moist, you know, plaster or poultice to put on there type thing is one way. So say that somebody had pain in their chest right there. Well, then I'd probably do something like that. And again, see the wet coming through? Right? See that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I would apply it right on the lungs. Just that easy. It's called a mustard plaster. Let me show you something.
And would you wrap it with stretch to keep it there?
I would cover it with plastic, and you can wrap the whole body.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, you test it this way. If it got too hot, I would pull it off, and I'd put another piece of cloth under it, and then set it on top of that, same as you would if you're doing, you know, hot and cold fomentations. I'll put another layer of a towel. But this is one of the great books. Go try to find this book today and see how much you got to pay for this book. Go look at it on Amazon. But what are you seeing here? Charcoal poultice over the ears, massage, hot foot baths, aloe vera for wounds. Isn't that cool? So I looked up in this book today, mustard plaster. So this is a great book from Agatha Thrash, Dr. Thrash, that really helps you learn some simple remedies. And they got, look at a number of different things going on here. A foot bath. They got a fomentation, hot and cold fomentations onto the lungs. They got an ice pack on the head, behind the neck. And they also have a sinus pack. over the sinuses. And they shows you how to make these things. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So this is one of the great books to have if you really are into natural remedies. I mean, you're asking how to do natural remedies. You're watching how to do natural remedies right now. And we're waiting for, well, where's the big thing? This is the big thing. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. But mustard plaster, place a large platter or metal tray where it can get warm or not hot. So you could put this on your cooking sheet and put it in the oven and make it nice and warm. Okay? It says stir dry mustard and ordinary wheat flour together. She wouldn't use white flour, she had to use wheat flour. 1 tablespoon of mustard to 4 tablespoons of flour for an adult, 1 tablespoon of mustard to 8 tablespoons of flour for a child, and then it goes on and tells you how to use it. Leave the plaster on at least 20 minutes if the patient, watch this, it says, if the patient complains of stinging and burning, or if the skin becomes well reddened before the time is up, the plaster should be removed. Wipe the area with cotton or tissue dipped in cooking oil to remove all mustard traces. Cover the area well with warm flannel or terry cloth. Pin it in place to a snug fitting sweater or cotton shirt. Leave on overnight. Okay, so there. I even go check. I want to do it right. I want to read the directions. So that's one thing you can do there with a mustard pack. I can put it on my chest tonight. I'll leave it on overnight and we'll see how we feel in the morning. Okay? That's pretty cool, right? It's very simple, all right? So I showed you a charcoal poultice. I showed you the diatomaceous earth. I showed you the bentonite clay, right? I showed you a number of these things here. There's the yellow mustard. We got that one down as well. I'm trying to think what else. But here, some pure eucalyptus again. This is wonderful for the lungs. Make tea out of it. Use eucalyptus oil, all right? I like using ointments, as I said, with the eucalyptus in it. And it's very good for people with coughs and colds and things of this nature. So this is a wonderful healing one as well. And I think that's about it that I wanted to show you tonight. You have any questions on anything? Somebody have a question?
Do you use this eucalyptus oil on anything special?
I like to use it for breathing, for lungs. Ellen White, natural cough syrup was the honey with a few drops of eucalyptus in there.
Do you use that with garlic?
You can. Yeah, you can. The garlic, and this has some antibiotic properties as well, but you can use the garlic as well. But this is very good for the lungs. And you remember there was things circulating on the internet was talking about if you have a stubborn cough and you want to get rid of that cough in the night, you know, to put Vicks Vapor Rub all over the bottom of the feet. And again, it was the eucalyptus, it's, you know, the camphor, it's the menthol, and then put on your socks and go to bed. And I thought about it, I don't want to use Vicks Vapor Rub. So what can I use? Well, get those herbs, and I got a Chinese healing balm that has the camphor and the menthol and eucalyptus. And how about I mix it with coconut oil? Just mix those herbs with the coconut oil, rub it all over the bottom of the feet, and put the socks on and go to bed. Because I really don't like the petroleum products, you know, that's in the Vaseline or in that Vicks Vapor Rub. But I did want to make some for you. I want to just do a nice charcoal poultice and put it on there. Just something that simple for you, all right? So if I can get a bowl so I can make a simple charcoal poultice for her. I want to try that. I would roll on this first, all right, because that's going to help with pain and inflammation there. I think we're good here. So we'll make a nice charcoal poultice here, and then we're going to put it on you and we're going to pray. So I'm going to do it. It's going to be a little more, let's use the bowel formula number 2, or you can use, when you use charcoal, it's wonderful, but it really can get messy. I mean, if you're not careful, it's going to blow all over. It's going to get on you and stuff like that. But I love the charcoal, but this has the bentonite and the charcoal. So let's start and just make a poultice for her. Susie, could you kind of straighten up all this stuff here and give me, I want to use something for her side, and I want to just use paper towel.
Okay.
I'm just going to use, give me the cookie sheet and give me a couple pieces of paper towel. This is about the size that would cover this. Yeah? Okay, so we want something, yeah, give me 2 of those, all right? This is another great herb book, right? It's a great herb book in here. And I was looking up, you know, just the values of peppermint oil in here. And it said it's antispasmodic, it's cholagogue, it's cholorectic, it's carminative, it's mild disinfectant, external analgesic, diaphoretic. And that means it's going to help to relax your muscles. It's going to also be an analgesic. It's going to induce perspiration in the peppermint. It can even help cut bile. Isn't that cool? Cut down the bile and help in cleansing of the liver. So there's a lot of properties to these herbs. So this is actually the book that we recommend that you read. And when you took your Fundamentals of Natural Hygiene course online, and you can find that at modernmanna.org, click on Arisen, and it'll take you how you can take our online fundamentals course and then qualify for the 2-week program here at Bella Vita Lifestyle Center. So now I'm going to make a poultice here. Take the bowel formula again. It's so simple, and it's got the nice mucilaginous herbs. It has some flax. It has the charcoal and the bentonite. And so this can absorb a lot of toxins. It's going to help pain and inflammation. I was putting together a new presentation, and I was, you know, this doctor ran and asked Ellen G. White, do you have any light that I can use to help this child with a lot of pain in the stomach and the intestines? And she says, go to the blacksmith shop and secure some charcoal and mix that charcoal with flaxseed. And she says, and then apply it to the stomach areas around the sides, secure it in place. And she said that it worked wonders, and it took the pain, the inflammation away. So it was very, very valuable.
Do you have to brine the flax seeds, Danny, or no?
You know, you should.
Yeah.
And in this case, what I'm going to do is add a little powder. But in this case, you'll see that some of them are still whole here. I don't think they're all whole, but they didn't all get ground. Because being whole like that, they're not going to do anything for you, really, when you're applying it externally like this. Okay. See if that's going to be enough for her. Probably need a little more, huh? You think?
Yeah.
And you know, you do something like this for somebody, it just feels good. You know, you're helping somebody and you're not using a bunch of drugs. And you're also then, you know, you want to apply this, and then you want to pray. That you say, dear Lord, I'm using a simple remedy from the earth that comes from what you have created. And we're going to apply it to this wounded part, and we need your blessing. We need you to help us, you know, to help take away some of this pain, this inflammation, to bring some comfort to this area. Yeah, that should work well now. Maybe a little too much, but we'll be good. And I'm going to throw in, okay, and I'm going to take just a little bit of the flax. Okay, we can sprinkle some of this in there. Very nice, very healing. Has a lot of electrons in here. Vitamin F, essential fatty acids. It's very drawing, lots of fiber. See? So now you got a nice big poultice, right? And so we got our papers here. So let's see, I think, can I get a double sheet?
Sure.
Because I want to fold that over so it doesn't come out the sides. Yeah, there we go. This is getting better now. Boy, Dinner's ready.
I think we've had enough of that for the week.
We saw it going in and we saw it coming out, didn't we? Okay. So now you just put it in place. Okay. There you go. And you know, it's actually, if I get another piece like that, it tastes so good. It tastes so good, you know. But I can just push, see? Look at that. And you can mold it to the shape, the size you want. And it's starting to bleed through there. Can you give me some warm water?
Sure.
Yeah. So that looks pretty good size, huh?
I have a question, Danny.
Yes,
Can you warm things in the microwave or you must use an oven?
You know, no, I use microwave just for warming something, but not anything I'm going to ingest and eat
Okay.
because of the obvious dangers in the radiation deal and depleting the antioxidants. But if I need to warm water, or you'll see in my hydrotherapy demonstration, I like the microwave because I time it. 3 minutes, I got it, boom, I'm putting it on, I got the cold friction rub, I got the hot coming again, and it just works very easy that way. Yeah. Is it hot, warm? Okay, so we need to have you lay down comfortably somewhere on your side. I'm just going to put a little. Yeah. Tina, how are you over there?
It feels good.
Does it?
It's warm.
You like
I
that?
can feel it penetrating.
You know, my question I tell myself, is your body saying, yes, I like this?
Yes.
Or is it saying, no, I want ice?
It likes this.
Okay. That's what I found on my shoulder.
You just woke her up.
It craved it, you know. I would come home and it really craved it because it's been an injury you've had a while. Okay, so this is a little cold. But then I would, can we lay her down on something? Well, I think you're okay if we just lay her on the ground on her side, you know, right on her side, right down here. It's just very simple. If you want to put a towel down for her, just get a towel, and it's that simple. Here, right here. You lay her down right here on the side. So George,
What do you want my head?
I want the side that's bad up towards me. Okay. So you be ready with this poultice, okay? Okay, so the area that's hurting you is right
here.
Okay, so let's put some of this on. And this helps pain and inflammation again. And it's gentle. I'm not hurting you?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, now it might burn a little bit, the DMSO. You may feel a little tingling, and you could possibly taste it in your mouth. You're going to have a little bit of a garlic taste, and don't be surprised because it's absorbing into the body. So I'd let this absorb a little bit on her skin before I put on the charcoal. Are you cold?
No.
Okay. Give you a little modesty here.
Blow dryer out.
Well, it goes in pretty fast, so I would do something like that. You getting any tingling?
Not yet.
No, it's pretty gentle. In fact, the one that I buy, you'll notice here, you can get a 99% DMSO. 99%. I found it was a little hot, kind of irritate my skin a little bit, but if you look closely at this one, you know what it says? DMSO, 70%, aloe vera, 30%. So the aloe vera is soothing to the skin. It's healing to the skin, all right? So then let's take this, and then I would face it down right there. Now you ladies, come over here and put this underneath her bra. There, and tuck it under her pant thing there. That's one way we can do this. All right? And then I would still put plastic, wrap her around in plastic a bit. Now we can just get this. Yeah. Well, it's going to be, pull that. If you can wrap around. Can you turn this way a little? There you go. Okay, now turn back the other side. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, okay, pull that up. Look at Martine, all business.
Yeah.
She's on it, okay? Don't pull too hard.
Okay.
Want gently on her. Okay, don't put too hard. Okay. Okay, gently. And then handle her gently.
This one?
What do you want? What do you
You're right.
No.
I'm fine.
Okay, now just put your shirt over that.
Do you want the heating pad on?
Yeah, well, right now, let's just leave it like this, okay? And then you could put on some heat if you wanted to see how it felt. And if your body's saying, yes, I like this, you know what I mean? Because it's going to bring some blood there, but after a wound's been around a while, I think that the blood, I'm going to, just a minute. That's called micromanaging. So then you also, don't make you laugh, right? But anyway, that you're going to bring blood to an area. But at some point you want to bring, you know, blood for healing. All right. So is that comfortable?
Yes.
Does it hurt at all?
No.
There, you can live with that?
Yes.
You can go to bed with that?
Yes.
All right. So let's pray. Loving Father, I pray for Siri, Lord. She suffered with this for days and days. And she fell and she hurt herself. And we've done body work on her, Lord. And now we're doing some herbal poultices. Poultices and combinations of things that you have given in the spirit of prophecy. I take it as light from heaven. And Lord, I ask that you help heal this, to relieve some of the pain, the inflammation, that she can get back to normal. So I just pray you will bless this natural remedy tonight. And it's very important that Siri exercises faith in you, Lord. You made this stuff. You provided it from the earth. And I just pray that she sees it from the Creator's hand. She exercises faith in his divine power. And may you heal her, O God. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen. So there's an application of a poultice over a wound. So I think that concludes my presentation for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this little natural remedies workshop using different compresses, poultices, herbal remedies, and things from the earth that you can relieve pain, help mend bones, and help inflammation. God bless you. This is Danny Vierra signing off till next time. Bye-bye.